Well, that's what we were expecting, right? The Edmonton Oilers, they didn't just snatch Game 4. They knocked Florida down, stole their lunch money, and put up 8 goals. Which, I mean, is probably a good thing. They doubled their goal output from the first 3 games where they had 4. And, of course, McDavid also beat Gretzky's record for all-time assists in a playoff run, which anytime you not just break, but even approach a Gretzky record, it's worth talking about. I mean, it was so bad that Bobrovsky's series-wide save percentage dropped to, well, a more human level. And it all started with one of the most imposing players in the series, Darnell Nurse, who got called for a 5-minute major 2 minutes into the first. Lucky for him, he's already gotten a lot of Oilers ire. It gets reduced to 2 minutes, which I think was the right. I didn't think it looked worse than the Fogle one the other night, so way she goes. Reduced to 2, and on the penalty kill, the star of tonight's show, Connor Brown, gets on his horse and charges down the ice. He goes around Bob, puts her back in front, and Janmark is there to smack it in. 1-0 Oilers from the shorty, and the barn starts going bananas. Beauty play by Brown and a great forecheck on the PK by Janmark. Janmark would then get a helper up next as he gets a nice apple, setting up Henrique for the 2-goal lead. Tarasenko then gets a tip in just a few minutes after that one, which did quiet the crowd. And to be honest, I was ready for the Edmonton collapse. Brandon sent me the Undertaker rising up from the dead gif, and it did sort of feel like that. The Panthers were putting on pressure, and I was worried that they were coming back. But not quite, as Dylan Holloway, who had a hell of a game himself, grabbed a beauty goal to restore the 2-goal lead as he flips the puck just barely over Bob's pad and in. Crazy that finally going into a first intermission, Edmonton is up 3-1 this time in the first. And they came for blood in the second, with McDiesel getting his first of the finals just over a minute into the frame. Then, the moment that shook the hockey world, Darnell Nurse scores in the playoffs for his first goal in 2 years, chasing Bobrovsky from the net. If you told me before this game started that Nurse was going to make Paul Maurice change his goalie, well, I don't know. I'd still have been laughing until 5 minutes into the second when it did happen. Bananas. Nuge and McLeod then grabbed ones for themselves as Holloway doubles up on nice goals for the night to bring us to our eventual final score of 8-1. And of course, we got to give the shout out to the mustachioed skin dog who had a great game and finally made those saves when needed. 32 big ones for him tonight. Everyone is going to be talking about the offensive output from Edmonton for good reason, but he was solid. He had one really beautiful glove save. And man, does it not feel like the NHL and NBA finals are copying each other's work? The Eastern Conference team gives the nuts to the West Coast team through 3 games. They look absolutely dominant and are looking at a sweep, only for both to be blown out by the team they've been dummying until this point. If you don't watch basketball, it's the Mavs and the Celtics. The Celtics are up 3-1. But this is big for the Oilers. They got their leaders to lead, 1 goal and 3 apples for McDavid as he passes Gretz in the assist tracker. Nuge got his first goal of the finals. Hyman got his first couple of assists. And Dry picked up his first final points. Still a little worried about him, but you love to see it. And if anything, the Oilers, I think, have given us all a little hope. Not even if you're just cheering for the team, but for an enjoyable last sliver of NHL hockey. But the question is, can they play like that again and on the road? Can they steal another one in front of the Panthers crowd? Maybe. I'm a stats man, so typically I'll go with the odds. And since it's only ever happened once, again, the Leafs in 42 over the Red Wings, I'm still going to stick with my original prediction and go for Panthers in 5. But also, bit of a gambler's fallacy there. I mean, 3-1 is not 3-0. 3-1 comebacks are uncommon, but certainly not unheard of. Boston was on the wrong end of that from, guess who? These Florida Panthers last year. My Rangers did the Penguins in overtime. It's happened 32 times overall, but when it comes to the Cup Finals, it's still just that 1942 Toronto Maple Leaf team, which was also down 3-0. Which, I mean, if you're down 3-0, that also means at some point you were down 3-1 as well. So, yeah, I would love for Edmonton to prove me wrong and force a Game 6. Send us back at least to the land of oil for one more game. But this one bad performance notwithstanding, I think Florida's going to take it in front of their home crowd. But what did you think? Do the Oilers give you hope? What about McDavid passing Gretz? Let us know your thoughts down below.